Did you know that over 50% of autistic adults like you and me report struggling with romantic relationships? In this video, we will dive into why love can be so challenging for autistic adults, explore ways to break down those barriers, and create healthier, more fulfilling connections on our terms. Hey, Define Yourselfers, I am the Confident Autistic from theconfidentautistic.com. I'm an autistic adult, late diagnosed, a multi-certified life coach who is on a mission to empower you to embrace autism confidently. We all want connection. The desire for love, intimacy, and companionship is universal. For many autistic adults like you and me, there's a strong longing for those deep connections. We yearn for someone who truly understands us, who values us for who we are, quirks and all. But here's the catch. Sometimes the path to achieving this connection feels very challenging. We may face challenges in expressing our emotions or even understanding how we and others feel. This can lead to moments of isolation and confusion where we feel like we're missing something that everyone else seems to have figured out. We want to love, but it's not always easy to navigate the complexity of emotional communication and social expectations. Then there is the external pressure. Society often has a narrow view of what love and relationships should look like. There's this expectation that everyone at a certain point should be dating, falling in love, and maintaining normal relationships. Now, for us middle-aged autistic adults, this can create an additional layer of frustration. We might feel overlooked or misunderstood by society as if we don't fit the traditional mold of the definition of love. People may wrongfully assume that we're not interested in relationships, that we're incapable of having a relationship with another person. These perceptions can make us feel like love isn't something that's meant for us, or that it's too late to find it, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that we have just as much right to love and meaningful connections as anyone else. It may take more effort, more understanding, and more patience from both ourselves and our potential partner, but it's absolutely possible to experience the deep connection we desire. It's just a matter of breaking down those barriers, embracing who we are, and finding partners who truly see and appreciate for us being our authentic selves. We may struggle with relationships our entire life. We may have always wanted a partner who understands us. Unfortunately, after years of failed relationships and feeling misunderstood, we start to doubt if we can or will ever find someone who sees us for who we really are, amazing people who have a lot to offer in a relationship. Along with years of feeling rejected because of our autistic traits when we have pursued love, we keep our emotions bottled up as we are afraid to express our true feelings out of fear that we would be rejected or misunderstood. Then suddenly, possibly because of this video, we have a breakthrough moment. We realize, after some self-reflection and developing our self-confidence, we realize something important. It isn't about fitting into someone else's idea of love. It's about creating our own version and our own idea of what love is. With this new perspective, we understand that we must define love on our terms. We must open up to our partner and start sharing in ways we have never shared before. We start to be honest about our needs, our sensory sensitivities, our preferred communication style, and more about who we authentically are. Now, of course, it will be scary at first, and it may seem risky. But if we want to define love on our own terms and be in a loving, healthy relationship, which many of us, I would say all of us at one time or another on the spectrum, want and desire, we must take the risk. Because remember, without risk, there cannot be a reward. And in this case, the reward is a loving, healthy relationship. So when you start opening up and sharing all of this, there's two types of reactions you may get. The first one is your partner may respond by being incredibly receptive and supportive, allowing you and your partner to find a way to communicate with each other that works for the both of you. Now, this new form of communication should include patience, understanding, and compromise by both you and your partner. Because relationships, whether it be love, friendships, whatever, but we're talking about love here, revolves around compromise. It cannot be all your way or your partner's way. I hate to tell you that, but it's the truth. I tried it all my way and it did not work for me. Okay, so don't go down that road. I tested it. It's not a good road. It's full of a lot of potholes. So don't do that. The other thing I want to emphasize at this point, that if this does come out positive from your partner, that's great. But the changes are not going to happen in a blink of an eye. It could take a few days, weeks, months, or even longer for the relationship to evolve. Just because you start opening up and sharing is not going to change everything about your relationship. But one thing that will or possibly will happen, I don't know everyone's partner, but can happen is by you opening up, your partner's going to open up to you and you're going to have a stronger, more loving relationship, and which should be built upon mutual respect and understanding and care and compassion for each other. It is important for me to note here that if our partner does not respond favorably, I know we talked about the good, we got to address the bad here, folks, okay? It may be a sign that this is not the right relationship for you. Now, I'm not telling you that if your partner does not um, respond in a positive way, that you should dump them. Okay. I don't know the situation. That's not my place to say it. Because sometimes when we tell our partners these things, it may take a little while for us to even see the changes because it's so subtle. So don't give up. But if we do realize this is not the right person for us, that can happen. I mean, the first person you meet and you fall in love with is not always going to be the person you're going to be in love with for the rest of your life, because you go through phases of love, which is a whole different topic, but it sometimes they work, sometimes it fizzles out. I dated several people before I wound up with my wife. Okay, so um, if they don't respond favorably either instantly or over time, it may be a sign that this is not the right relationship or love interest for you. Remember, you are an amazing person. He deserves to be loved for who you are, including all of your challenges and superpowers that comes with autism. Now, if your partner does reject you, it is not necessarily a reflection on your shortcomings, your autism, or anything else about you. It may not be about you. It may be, but it may not be. It may be a reflection on your partner's maturity. So when you do get rejected, we often think, I would say almost always think it's our fault. We did something wrong because we're autistic. We're neurodiverse. We know we're not the majority in this world, and we're trying to fit into a neurotypical world. But it's not always our fault. We could be rejected because the other person is not ready to have a mature relationship with you. So don't take a rejection necessarily as being personal. Yes, do what I like to do, which is self-reflection, debriefing, whatever you want to call it, where you review what happened and be honest with yourself. What could you done better? Because we can always improve. but it's not always all of our faults, not always our fault that something or love relationship does not work out. It can also be the other person's. But we also do not want to get into a blame game where we're blaming the other person for the thing falling apart and ignoring areas that we can improve. I know I just unloaded a lot of stuff on you. You may want to rewind back on this and listen to that again. But what I said is very important. If we do get rejected or the relationship falls apart, the love does not happen, it might not always you. It could be the other person, but you do want to also look into what you could learn from that experience. So when you're in a similar situation, you will not make any mistakes or can handle it better and get the next one to grow further and be long lasting. Now, the breakthrough we just discussed in today's video is not just about finding the right person. It's about learning to embrace ourselves and our unique needs. And once we do that, we will find that love doesn't have to be difficult. It just needs to be authentic. See, before we can expect anyone to love us for who we are, we must love ourselves. It's part of self-acceptance. One of the things I talk about in my confidence work that I do, that the first thing we have to do is accept ourselves for who we authentically are. It's a very important thing. If you want to navigate this potentially new world for you as an adult who suspects you're on the spectrum, self-identifies as autistic, or received a late diagnosis of autism, that can be a big thing that changes your perspective of the world. Even though you've been on the spectrum all your life, now you know it. You have to accept that and accept that part of yourself. And you have to love yourself first before anyone else will love you. Because if you're not loving yourself, I think people can pick up on that and they're going to treat you the way that you treat yourself. So you want to love yourself and treat yourself right. Now, at the core of it all, we all want connection. Real, deep, authentic connection. The path to that connection may look different for us autistic adults than it does for our autistic peers, but it is still achievable. It requires patience, self-reflection, and understanding, not just from ourselves, but from those we choose to love as well. By embracing our needs, being clear about our communication styles, and finding partners who respect and appreciate us for who we truly are, love becomes something that can thrive on our own terms. Never forget that love doesn't have to fit into a standard mold. It doesn't have to look like what society says it should. What matters most is that it feels real, genuine, and accepting. We are all deserving of love, no matter how complicated it may seem at times. So, if you're struggling with love or relationships right now, remember, take the time to reflect on what you need. Communicate openly and don't settle for anything less than what you truly deserve. You are worth the effort, and love on your terms is not only possible, it's absolutely worth pursuing. Now, if this video has resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more great videos that will help you understand autism and discover, develop, and grow into a self-confident autistic adult. Now, I would love to hear your thoughts and experiences on love and relationships. Please keep them G-rated, okay? As an autistic adult, do you resonate with any of the challenges we discussed in this video? Or maybe you have your own insights and tips that have helped you navigate relationships. Share your story in the comments below. I read every single one, though I can't always respond to them all. Your voice matters, and together we can help each other build a stronger, more understanding community. So until next time, this is the Confident Autistic, aka Chris Mitchell, reminding you that you are not alone in this journey. We, define yourselfers like you and me, are all navigating love together. And I'm here to help you embrace autism confidently. Join me live Thursday nights for the Confident Autistic Live, where I answer your questions, we discuss this week's videos, offer support, and more. The fun starts Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time in the US of A. Be sure to click the bell when you subscribe to the channel to be notified when the party begins.